dog stops at a doorway and will not walk through it, do not pick it up. Do not carry it through. This message is issued by the Emergency Coordination Center. Please listen closely and follow the instructions. This is not a drill. At 4:12 a.m. on the morning of March 3rd, dispatch logged the first call. A woman on Halbrook Road reported that her 11-year-old beagle had been standing in her hallway for 6 hours, facing an open bedroom door, refusing to cross the threshold. The dog was not barking. The dog was not growling. It was simply standing. Weight shifted back onto its hind legs and it would not move forward. She carried it through the door herself. We are still trying to reach her. Here's what we know. Over the past 9 days, the Emergency Coordination Center has documented 106 reports across zones 3 through 11 describing the same behavior. The consistency of these reports is what elevated this from a veterinary anomaly to a public safety advisory. The behavior presents as follows. A domestic dog approaches an interior doorway it has passed through thousands of times. It stops. It does not react to the door itself. It reacts to the space beyond it. Owners describe the posture in nearly identical language. Ears flat, tail low but not tucked. Front paws planted at the exact edge of the threshold, never crossing, and the head held perfectly level. Not lowered in submission, not raised in alert. Level. As though the dog is measuring something. They do not bark. This is the detail we want you to hold on to. In 104 of 106 documented cases, the dog was silent. A barking dog is warning you about something on the other side of a door. A silent dog has already decided that whatever is on the other side of that door should not be told that you are here. If your dog goes silent at a doorway, lower your voice. Do not call its name. I need you to remember this phrase exactly, because you may need it later tonight, and you will not have time to look it up. The room you are standing in is the wrong side. Say it back to yourself now. We will return to it. Denise Corley, 58, lives alone at 1140 Halbrook Road, approximately 4 miles northeast of Millbrook. She has owned the same beagle, Prescott, for 11 years. At 10:20 p.m. on March 2nd, Corley let Prescott out for the last time that night. He returned at 10:26. Her security camera confirms both timestamps. Nothing on that footage is unusual. There is no figure at the tree line. There is no sound. We have run the audio through spectral analysis 4 times and found nothing. At 10:31 p.m., Prescott walked down the hallway toward Corley's bedroom, stopped 8 inches from the doorway, and stood there. Corley initially assumed arthritis. She has stated in her report that she said his name. She says she said it, quote, 4 or 5 times. He did not respond. He did not look at her. His eyes remained fixed on a point inside the bedroom that Corley describes as, quote, about waist height, near the closet, but not the closet, just the air. She went to bed. She stepped over him to do it. She woke at 2 a.m. Prescott was still standing in the hallway. Same posture, same fixed point. She reports that in nearly 4 hours, he had not sat down, had not shifted his weight, and, this is a direct quote from her statement, had not blinked that she could tell. At 4:12 a.m., Corley called dispatch. The operator advised her to contact a veterinarian in the morning and remain calm. That call lasted 3 minutes and 11 seconds. At 4:19 a.m., Corley picked Prescott up and carried him across the threshold into the bedroom. We have the audio from the second call. She placed it at 4:21 a.m. It runs 11 seconds. She is asking the operator whether a dog can go into shock from being lifted. The operator begins to respond. The call does not disconnect. It continues to carry open line audio for another 2 minutes and 40 seconds, during which the operator repeatedly says Corley's name and receives no answer. What the recording captures during that interval is a sound our audio technicians have described as a room tone change. not a noise, not footsteps or voice. The acoustic signature of the room simply becomes larger, as though the walls have moved further apart while the microphone stayed where it was. Prescott was recovered from the property at 7:40 a.m. He was in the hallway in the same position, facing the bedroom doorway. The bedroom was empty. Denise Corley's phone was on the bed. Her shoes were beside it, still tied. If your dog refuses a doorway, do not carry it through. Do not push it through. Do not open the door wider. Do not turn on the light in the room beyond it. Back away from the doorway slowly, taking your dog with you if it will come. If it will not come, leave it where it is and back away alone. The dog is not in danger while it is standing at the threshold. It is standing at the threshold because that is the only place it is not in danger. Close no doors behind you. This is important, and it is counterintuitive, and we will explain why later in this broadcast. Here's what we know so far. At 1:50 a.m. on March 5th, 2 days after the Halbrook Road incident, the Venomore family on Route 47 reported the same behavior in both of their dogs simultaneously. Route 47 is relevant. Longtime listeners of this frequency will recall that Route 47 has appeared in our advisories before. We are noting the recurrence. We are not currently prepared to explain it. Alan Venomore, 44, was woken by his wife at approximately 1:40 a.m. Their two labs, Tuck and Ranger, were standing shoulder to shoulder at the entrance to the upstairs landing, facing the stairwell. Neither was making a sound. Venomore had heard our previous advisory. He did not carry them through. This is the reason his family is alive, and this is the reason we can tell you what happened next. Instead, he did something no other subject in this data set has done. He got down on the floor beside the dogs and put his head level with theirs. His statement in full is the most valuable piece of evidence the center currently holds. He reports that from a standing position, the stairwell looked normal. 14 steps down to the landing. The hallway light was off, everything as it should be. From the dog's eye level, he counted 17 steps. He counted them 3 times. He states that he was not disoriented, that he was fully awake, that he was aware of how the sentence he was about to write in his report would sound. 17 steps, and that at the bottom of those steps, in the dark, at a distance he estimates as roughly 20 feet, considerably further than the actual base of his staircase, something was standing at the bottom, looking up. He describes it as tall enough that the height difference should not have been possible in a residential stairwell. He describes it as motionless. He describes it, and I am quoting his report directly, as waiting to be invited. Venomore stood up. From standing, the stairwell was 14 steps and empty. He got back down. 17. Still there. He backed his family into the master bedroom without closing the door and waited until sunrise. At 6:14 a.m., both dogs sat down at the same moment, shook themselves off, and walked downstairs to their food bowls as though nothing had occurred. We now believe we understand the shape of what is happening, though we do not understand its cause. The doorway is not a location. The doorway is a decision point. Something is using interior thresholds in occupied residences as a boundary condition. On one side of that boundary, the geometry of the home is what you built and what you pay taxes on. On the other side, it is not. The difference is measurable, the Venomore stairwell being the clearest documented example, but it is only measurable from below roughly 30 inches of height. That is dog height. That is toddler height. That is the height at which a person kneels. Adults standing upright are, for reasons we cannot yet model, exempt from perceiving the discrepancy. You are not exempt from entering it. You are only exempt from seeing it. This is why your dog will not cross. It can see the room. You cannot. It is not being stubborn. It is refusing to walk into a space that its eyes are telling it is 50 feet deep, in a house it knows to be 40 feet wide. And this is why you must not carry it through. When you lift the animal, you remove it from the threshold. The threshold is the only position from which the discrepancy is observable, and observation appears to be what holds the boundary in place. An observed doorway remains a doorway. An unobserved doorway becomes an opening. Denise Corley did not walk into her bedroom. She walked into whatever her bedroom's doorway was pointed at, once Prescott stopped looking at it. We have received a number of calls asking why our directive instructs residents to leave doors open. It is the opposite of every instinct you have. We understand that. We are asking you to override it. A closed door in an affected residence does not seal the boundary. Our data indicates it does something considerably worse. It removes the threshold from view entirely, which means the space beyond it is unobserved for as long as the door remains shut. Every closed door in your house right now is a room you are not looking at. Between March 5th and March 9th, we logged 19 cases in which a resident, following ordinary caution, closed an interior door and went to bed. In 14 of those 19 cases, the resident reported the following morning that the room behind the door was, quote, wrong in a way they could not specify. Furniture in the correct positions but at incorrect distances from one another. Windows in the right walls but a different number of steps away. In 3 cases, the resident reported that the room had a door they did not remember installing. None of those 3 residents have filed follow-up reports. Attempts to reach them are ongoing. Leave your doors open, leave your hallway lights on. If your dog stops at a threshold, do not close that door. The threshold is the last honest thing in the room. Officer Martinez responded to the Halbrook Road property at 8:05 a.m. on March 3rd. His report notes that his radio functioned normally throughout the exterior sweep and failed the instant he crossed into the residence's front hallway. Not the front door, the interior hallway, at the point where the hallway meets the bedroom corridor. Deputy Chen arrived at 8:40 a.m. Both officers documented the interior. Both officers recorded the beagle's position. Both officers photographed the empty bedroom. Their photographs do not match. Martinez's photographs show a bedroom of approximately 140 square feet, consistent with the county property records. Chen's photographs, taken from the same doorway within 4 minutes, show the same furniture, the same bedding, the same phone on the same mattress, and a room our analysts measure at closer to 300 square feet. Deputy Chen is 5'1". Officer Martinez is 6'3". We did not identify the significance of that difference until March 7th, and we are issuing this broadcast now because of it. Officer Janet Torres, who has been coordinating the response from the Millbrook substation, has instructed all responding personnel to enter affected residences standing fully upright, to keep their eyes above chest height, and under no circumstances to kneel, crouch, bend, or sit down while inside the structure. 2 officers have disregarded that instruction. 1 returned. He has since requested reassignment and declined to explain why. The Beacon Hill Lighthouse has not operated since 1983. It came on for 4 minutes on the night of March 5th. Keep that in mind. The behavior is spreading, and it is changing. Our earliest reports involved bedroom doorways exclusively. By March 6th, we were logging bathroom doorways, closet doorways, and basement stairwells. On March 8th, we received our first report involving a doorway that had been sealed and drywalled over in 1994. The resident's dog stood facing a blank wall in an upstairs hallway for 11 hours and would not move. The homeowner did not open the wall. She called us instead. That was the correct decision, and we want to be extremely clear that it was the correct decision. We are also now tracking the inverse presentation, which is the reason this broadcast is being issued on emergency priority rather than standard advisory. In 7 households across zones 4 and 9, residents have reported that their dog has stopped refusing doorways and started standing in them, not at the threshold, in it. Positioned in the center of the frame, facing into the occupied room, holding the same level-headed posture, silent for hours at a time. If your dog is standing in a doorway facing you, the boundary is no longer between you and the next room. Do not walk toward it. Do not walk away from it. Sit down where you are, on the floor, and wait for daylight. Your dog has put itself in the frame because that is where it needs to be, for you to remain on the correct side of it. It is holding the door. That is the entire reason it is there. Let it. We will now repeat the operative instructions. If you retain nothing else from this broadcast, retain these. 1. If your dog stops at a doorway and will not cross, do not carry it, push it, or lure it through. Back away. Take the dog with you if it will come. Leave it in place if it will not. 2. Do not close interior doors. Do not turn off hallway lights. An unobserved threshold stops being a threshold. 3. Remain standing. Do not kneel, crouch, or lie down on the floor of an affected residence. What you cannot see cannot invite you. 4. Do not say your dog's name while it is holding a threshold. Do not say your own name aloud. Do not answer if you hear it said back. 5. If your dog sits down and shakes itself off, the event has concluded. That is the all-clear signal. There is no other all-clear signal. Sunrise is not an all-clear signal. Silence is not an all-clear signal. You have approximately 90 seconds from the moment your dog breaks posture without sitting down. If it turns and walks away from the doorway while still silent, still level-headed, and does not shake itself off, the boundary has moved and your dog is following it. Follow your dog. Do not lead. Do not overtake it. Whatever room it walks into is the last correct room in the house. The phrase we asked you to memorize at the beginning of this broadcast was, "The room you are standing in is the wrong side." We want to correct that now. It was never meant to be a warning about the room. It was meant to be a test. If, at any point during the last 27 minutes, you found yourself repeating that phrase and something in your house repeated it back, you are not listening to this broadcast in the room you think you are in. Your dog knows which one it is. Your dog has known since it stopped at the door. We have received 940 calls in the last 4 days. 411 of them were placed from residential landlines in zones 3 through 11. The remaining 529 were placed from numbers registered to addresses that were demolished between 1979 and 1988. Every one of those 529 callers reported the same thing. Their dog would not come through the door. We are still receiving them. This frequency will remain